champions and the boxing superstars, where are you? I'm waiting, let's fight. I'm the most avoided boxer.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so this is very intriguing news. I actually saw this news when I was getting on the plane to come here to Orlando. I saw some very interesting fight. This is a matchup I never once ever in my life considered, but it's been made now, and I kind of want to get my thoughts on it. Now, y'all can say the date. It'll be next month, June 17th, in New Orleans at the Smoothie King Center, the home of the Pelicans. And it'll be on the undercard of Regis Prograis versus Danielo Zorrillita, I think that's his name, the replacement. But it's a welterweight matchup. Two welterweights I'm very familiar with, two undefeated welterweights I'm very familiar with. We'll start off with South Florida's very own, because I'm a South Florida guy, and this is a South Florida boxing. This is partially a South Florida boxing channel. We're gonna have Miami's very own Harold King Calderon. Finally, after all these years and after a lot of criticism from people in boxing and at times myself, he finally is stepping up to the plate in a big fight. A fight that, you know, people can no longer say Harold didn't, you know, after this fight, nobody can no longer say Harold Calderon didn't step up to the plate and make a big fight happen in his career. He's going to be taking on fellow undefeated welterweight and 2016 Olympic silver medalist, coming to you live and direct from Uzbekistan. They call him the Wonder Boy, and that is none other than Shakhram Giyasov. Yes, that's Shakhram Giyasov. Now, very interesting fight. Just starting off with both fighters and their paths to get here. Shakhram Giyasov was what they would call a blue chip amateur. Both these guys, I feel like Harold and Shakhram Giyasov had opposite routes in boxing. Giyasov was a blue chip talent. You could say to a degree that they're fast tracking him to in the pros a little bit. Not fast tracking him because he's not moving as fast as like a Bivol or any of these kind of guys from the, you know, Central Asian countries. But, you know, he's very talented, and he was definitely a blue chip, can't miss prospect. I mean, look at some of the guys he defeated in the amateurs. There are names that he's beat some names that you guys know. Like he defeated Roniel Iglesias, who was a top Cuban. He defeated Imantas Stanionis in the amateurs. He's done his thing in the amateurs, and now he's taking on Harold Calderon. Harold Calderon, he's kind of done things the slow build. You know. Didn't have the most standout amateur career, but a guy that, you know, has taken his time. 27 fights in the pro ranks, not a ton of like names you guys recognize, but a guy that's taken his time, and I think he's found his identity in the ring. He kind of knows who he is in the boxing ring, so I think this fight for him is coming at a good time as well. Very intriguing fight, because one thing about Harold Calderon is he is one of the biggest welterweights in this weight class. He's 5'11". He's a southpaw. He's patient. He can box. He's got above average power. Gonna be very interesting to see how Giyasov deals with the size and the length of Harold Calderon, because Harold Calderon isn't a fighter that's gonna rush his way in. He takes his time. He's got a long jab. And the thing with Giyasov is one of these fighters where he is fundamentally sound, but he's fundamentally sound, and I think sometimes he has a habit in his fights, and I've seen it in his fights, to rely a little bit on his athleticism a bit too much. So I feel like there's going to be some things where Harold can exploit it, and while people don't know who Harold Calderon is now, he's going to have a chance to really make some noise and upset, you know, a guy that, like I said, was a blue chip amateur. He's been pegged to do some big things in the pros. He's undefeated. He's 13-0, Olympic silver medalist. I mean, and truth be told, Harold Calderon, to most people outside of, you know, myself and people that really know boxing, you know, Harold Calderon's a guy that's had his record really padded. So this is the fight, and I'm excited for him, because I feel like out of everyone in boxing who's covered Harold, I've really been covering Harold for 5 years. So it's like I've seen what he can do. I've seen what he's capable at times, and he's not like people always talk about his record and stuff, but he's not a bad fighter. He really does have some positive attributes, and I think he's got to really show the world what he's about, because you know, Giyasov has fought, you know, guys like Darlius Perez in the pros, you know, but he hasn't really fought anybody, I would say, with the size, the length, and the jab of Harold Calderon. So I just think we're going to see the IQ of a Giyasov, and, you know, the fundamentals really get tested, because Harold Calderon, for all the things people say he doesn't have, he's fundamentally sound fighter. Giyasov, fundamentally sound fighter as well, but a guy that I think sometimes like I said, over relies on his athletic ability at times. So obviously, you know, Giyasov should go on as a favorite. He's the more proven commodity in boxing. He's the guy that has been you know, blue chip amateur, you know, impressed in the pros on you know, network television on big cards. But I'll say this. If Giyasov has any problems with Harold's size and Harold's patience and Harold's jab, this is going to be a lot more of an interesting fight than people think. I'm looking very forward to seeing how this fight plays out. I think I probably lean towards Giyasov winning the fight, but you know, I'm not ruling Harold out at all. I think Harold is going to have a chance, and you know, it all comes down. Listen, to me, the fight within the fight is, number one, can Harold impose his size and his length on Giyasov? And can Giyasov get past the length and the jab of a Harold Calderon? Because Harold Calderon, like I said, big, tall guy for the weight class, good frame. And he's not one of these guys, like from what I've seen of Harold in the past, going to his fights, I've never seen Harold like have a hard time making weight. So to me, this is never a fight that I consider, but it's a fight that I am excited for. And you know, who knows, man? I've never been to New Orleans. I wouldn't mind going out to New Orleans for this card to go see Harold Calderon and support the South Florida guy. But you know, he's got to answer the bell in a major way. And for Giyasov as well, I mean, if we just take a quick look at the professional record, just take the amateur shit out the equation for a second. In the professionals, right? Look at Giyasov in his last, you know, couple of fights. You know, he hasn't really fought like crazy names. You know, he did fight Emmanuel Taylor, who was a, you know, 140 gatekeeper back in the day, faded version of him. Taylor was crafty enough to take him the distance back in 2019, and I remember that fight. He's fought a lot of guys that really weren't natural 47 pounders. They blew him up to 47, and he won, and he in some cases he stopped them. Harold Calderon, the interesting thing is about this, Harold Calderon is a natural 147 pound fighter. So very intrigued about this fight, and looking very forward to seeing how obviously the Uzbek does, but also equally how the South Floridian does in Harold Calderon. So that's my take on the fight. That's my take on both fighters. You got one guy who's a blue chip can't miss prospect versus a guy that's had more of the slow build. So yeah, just really intriguing as far as their roads to get to this point, their styles, and yeah, that's how I see it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe, and like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Ding. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True Street Sports Empire. We're here at the Hatanaka Boxing Gym in Nagoya, Japan. And for more great videos just like this one, make sure you guys click right here.